WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacy and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to Uncommon Place.
I'm doing. Howdy everybody, my name is JR Sparrow, and I have a guest back with me today. Her name's Stacy. Stacy comes on my show here and there. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you very much for asking. How are you?
Okay, so this is a public service announcement, and this is something that I need to be out here clear. I need this, and I know I do a lot of different anthems, and you're like, damn, JR's coming out here with these rules and everything else, but this is something dedicated and duly to deal with me. Okay? So everybody, this episode is entitled A Friend. And anyone that deals with me, Stacy has dealt with me in how many years? You know me. Since like 2015, 2016, something like that. So you know me for, you've heard of me and you've known me for at least 9 years now. Almost 10 years. All right, so here's one thing about me. I am a friend to everyone. I am a friend to everyone. But Stacy will tell you this, and she's on the show just for this one reason. She will attest to anybody that I don't expect reciprocity of my friendship.
Right.
If you need me, or I come out of the woodworks magically and talk to you or comfort you, I do that because that is 100% a part of my nature.
Right.
If there's an occasion and it's something that involves movies or something that's relatable to what I'm thinking about. I'm a 1980s baby, so if you relate to stuff from the 80s, you're going to get a special preference with me. Correct? Yeah. But one thing that I don't do, one thing I don't go out of my way for is I don't strive to give any type of special treatment to anyone or anything to make you feel any type of like infatuation or strange way with me. I try to,
and like I've tried to explain that to you. You perceive that as that. There are people out there that don't are not used to that, so they think that it's something special.
Okay.
And I think that is the hardest thing for you to understand whenever you're talking about this type of topic. Just because you're not feeling that way doesn't mean she's not feeling that way. And I say she.
Yeah.
Because 95% of the people that you talk to are females.
Right.
I mean, just because you're not trying to say, you're not like, hey, I'm trying to get in I'm not trying to get in your pants. That's what you're thinking. But she could be like, oh, he's treating me special, so he's trying to get my pants.
Right. And let me flip the context. Even if it's someone that doesn't think I'm trying to get in their pants, when you're a friend of mine, and we'll say if you're a female, if you're a friend that's a female, there's certain contexts of our conversations. I speak to people, and if you ever notice anything about me, I will help you with your problems. Mm-hmm. I have 3 special people that I go to about my personal problems. And those 3 personal people that I go to are not people on social media. They're not anybody that's involved in podcasting. They are not anyone that has known me any part of the augmented reality life they've seen. So that right there should tell you that if you're a friend on Facebook, a friend on Instagram, or someone I deal with on social media, that I don't let you in on my real life.
Right.
I don't expect you to handle any burden or any part of what I do because, like I said, this episode is entitled A Friend. I am a friend to you. I don't expect you to do things with me because here's something. And this
when you expect that same thing out of those people, it could get your feelings hurt. And not like they're not reciprocating the same way that I am type of feelings hurt. But you know that I'm not expecting this stuff out of them. So that's okay. And if they don't give me that friendship that I need, that's okay. And we're not going to have any hard feelings.
Right. And here's another major thing. I don't seek the attention of anyone that's involved with me on social media and that, because let's be honest, and this is something I'm saying, and this is for the record, and this goes down like this. If I had an attention problem that I need anything to deal with, don't you think the podcasting, don't you think the streaming, don't you think me being an influencer, don't you think me having an audience? I have actual fans that email me, they write me every day and say, hey, your content helps me. So if I need attention or I have an ego issue, guess what? My pot, my tank, everything I need in life is filled because I have people that listen to what I say. They interact with me. I interact with my fans. Not that Kendrick Lamar song. I'm talking about actual fans, people that enjoy the content that I put out there. I have a spiritual group. I have apps like I have people.
Right.
And when you're a friend to me, I will be a scientist. Everybody knows I am a fucking scientist. I will look at your deficiencies and not bring them up, but I will eat you alive with the deficiencies and categorize you. If you're not built Fort Tough, or if you're not built like the Toyota, not no damn Chevrolet or Dodge, if you're not built to be fortified in my category as a friend, as a strong friend, as a top tier friend, then I'm the friend to you. I'm not asking you to be the friend to me. I don't need that. And that may be selfish, and someone's going to put a tag on there that I'm psycho or something like that. But have you ever heard of the fact that sometimes people need friends and they can't produce the same output and input? Mm-hmm. Because I move like 98 octane gas. And everyone that is around me, and I don't care who you are, does not move that gas octane. They move it something different. And if you're equal to me in that, then you're somebody I run to. If you're not equal to that, I do not run to you. Stacy, you have known me all this time. As close as we are, and this is something I want on my record, there are certain things that I know that you can't handle of mine, correct? Correct?
I don't know how to say it politely.
But there's certain things that I don't leave entrusted in you.
That is the term.
Right. And that's no hardship to you.
No, that's the term.
Right.
You choose not to talk to me.
All right, and I'm not going back and forth with you about
right.
that, but that's
but those are the choices you decide
right.
to make. I've expressed to you there's certain limitations, but I've also expressed to you that there are things that I'm okay now to talk to you about,
right.
But you still choose not to talk to me.
All right, so that's fine with you, but your stuff is a personal, internal thing. That's something different. But what she said there is something that I want every friend to understand. I set a limitation for you because I see what you do with other people, and this is everybody. I see what you all do with other people and how trauma and things happen to you. So I realize that I can't bring my burden on you all because you all aren't built in a manner to handle that. I am what they call the giver. And with that, I take a lot of flack, and sometimes I take a little malice from people because they don't feel like I'm being my authentic self. But I'm going to tell you this here. I have never been around something that I missed. I have never been around something that I haven't adored that I miss. I've missed things when what I need from someone or what I suspect or expect from that person becomes a disappointment. When it becomes a disappointment, and this is in friendships with any and everybody, and I'm telling you all this so you understand my signs. I cannot stomach disappointment when I give 110% and sometimes I only get 60 or 70, or the input does not give the output that I think I deserve.
Right, and you said it right there. You expect certain things. And when you don't get those certain reactions and those certain conversations back, you're like, you just like, oh, okay, well, I'm just not going to talk to you about that subject anymore. I'm going to find someone else to talk to me about that's going to give me the answer that I want. I think that's the problem with you.
Right, and I'm healthy with that, and I enjoy that. That's
right.
part of what makes me the person I am, and that's what makes me well-rounded for everyone around me. Do people get hurt? Do people's feelings get hurt? Mm-hmm. Yes, they do. And I'm sorry for that to anybody that feels offended because, we're part
You're not sorry, or you'd correct it. Like, I'm not saying that in a rude way when I say that, but that's your choice, and you're 100% entitled to your choice. So like I said, I'm not being rude when I say that, because if you were truly sorry about that, you wouldn't apologize. You would fix the issue.
Well, if I fix the issue, and I tell people this, and this is on friend level, this ain't nothing else. On a friend level, I just put that person in my memories museum and I move on.
Right, and you don't want to destroy that friendship, because what friendship you do get out of them. For the certain conversations, you enjoy that.
Right.
And you don't want to lose that. And like I said, you're entitled to all of that. That's your opinion. That's how you feel. That's your life. That's okay. But if you were truly sorry to the person you're offending when you made that statement, you wouldn't be sorry. You'd correct the action.
Right. So one person in particular, no name in anything, me and this person have a relationship that is based on the juvenileness of my youth. I don't know, this may not be a word. Things from the 80s.
Okay.
So me and this person, I handle things with them. I handle things with this person that way. And this person got offended. They got offended because I told them straight up, I don't handle adult themed things with you because first, there's a full format of things that don't involve you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take care of the private life, which we don't even have to detail what that stuff is. But this person doesn't take care of my private life. This person is someone that I have fun with talking about movies, different things like that. Things from the 80s, telephones that we used to have, stuff like that. So I treat that person as a part of my 80s collective. Do I treat them as someone that, and that may be a subcategory that I probably shouldn't have done to that person. But that's why I'm addressing this episode right now, specifically to that person. But that person didn't I carried more merit in their book than they carried in mine. I saw them as a juvenile conversation. I saw them because I seen what went on in their personal life. So I decided that, hey, I'm going to be a good friend to this person. I'm not going to let them have to worry about the realities of the world. Let's have fun conversations if you want to talk to me. That's it. Don't subject yourself to what's going on in my life. Don't judge me on content I produce on my podcast because it has an adult theme and it doesn't sit this whole jolly nature that you think that I should be. I am a podcaster.
Right. And I don't know that we've addressed it on your show even recently. But I do remember when we started doing our movie reviews on West Virginia Uncommon Place, there was a comment that I made. Not every episode is going to be for you, and that is okay. You are more than welcome to skip this episode if you don't like the content. We are not doing anything and talking about anything. And when I say we, I say that in a broad term as like any podcaster,
right.
Just the way that I perceive it. And, if you're doing it to be an asshole to somebody, that's your opinion, whatever. That's your podcast show. You do whatever you want. But the majority of people are not coming onto a podcast and creating an episode to offend you. They are doing it either because you're interested in that topic. You've had your listeners say, hey, I'd actually like to hear you interview somebody about this. Because it might be something that you never even thought of yourself. But like you said, you have a lot of fans, a lot of audience, a lot of people that might be interested in said topic, and they don't know how to approach it with anybody else, but they're that comfortable with you that they're able to be like, hey, can you try to do a couple episodes based around this topic? Absolutely. I don't find this topic derogatory in my opinion. So absolutely. Let me see what I can figure out. And like I said, if not every episode that we create is going to be for one person, but we want everybody to be able to find something from the content that we create.
Right. And when I'm out there creating for West Virginia Uncommon Place, I do a curation. Mm-hmm. I lined 4 episodes up about a topic. I have people that come to me about topics. I have sponsors. I have different people that want to invest and do things with my show.
Right.
And do things with Sparrows Under Review and anything that you and I, Stacey, have together in an entity. And we sit down and discuss what we want to bring out. Like, for instance, this is something for the record. There was a movie that came out called
It Ends With Us.
It Ends With Us. A very suggestive movie about domestic violence. I know because of the audience that I retained the stay-at-home parent audience, but I retained, which is odd, the stay-at-home moms.
Right.
And the work-at-home parents.
Well, because your podcast episodes have a lot of, You do an interview show, basically.
Yes.
And you do a show that relates to the everyday person most of the time.
Right.
And so you're going to draw in those people that have more time to sit and listen to an episode, which is your stay-at-home mom. Because it's not difficult to turn on a podcast episode while you're taking care of your house. That is something that you can do in addition to your full-time job that you're already doing as a parent.
Right.
Because we all know that's difficult.
So, with this actual podcast that I do, West Virginia Commonplace, the target audience, I want 27 to 72, I want whoever.
Yeah.
But my actual audience is a female between the age of 35 to 66.
Okay.
So that is
And at this point, the topic that you're referring to, that was the issue, everybody should be mature enough to know whether they can handle that episode or not.
Right. When my thing is with this said person, me and them have a bubble gum relationship.
Yeah.
So, and my problem with that person, and it's still my problem to this day, is that this person thought that I kept secrets, that I'm the secret person.
So what if you did? Like, I mean, I'm not saying that in a rude way, but so what if you did?
Right.
It's not like you're dating this person.
Right. They don't have nothing to do with any of
Yeah.
my real life,
Right.
personal, any of
Right.
that stuff. Here's the thing. When I produce this content, I sit down. I have structured people I handle with my content, people that listen to my show. My virtual assistant that I actually have hired, Allison, she looks at this and we look at what goes on here, what doesn't go on here. And everybody, I do have a virtual assistant. I've had one for the past 3 months handling my show. And here's the thing, and this is what I had to explain to that person. I love everybody inside podcasting, but people do a show as a hobby. I do a show because after all this time, it ain't no hobby no more.
Right.
It never was a hobby at any point. It was, I was going to get here. I wasn't going to produce stuff through funnels or businesses.
You want it to be a career.
Right. I wanted to be a career, and I do content. I am not Joe Rogan. I don't care about any of those people.
Right.
But I produce something that the masses put in their head, and they go,
Right.
Things that make me go,
Right.
And then the next thing is I am a professional wrestling fanatic.
Right.
And everybody knows that my favorite personality in wrestling is a man named Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff has a DVD about him that's called Controversy Sells.
Right.
Everyone has heard that phrase from me. I say controversy sells, controversy awaits. So when someone takes a portion of me being nice to them and being calm with them, and they flip it around and turn it into an infatuation with me, and I'm saying...
Right, and I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. I feel like that it was... Sorry. I feel like it goes back to what I was saying earlier. You are not trying to get anything out of this conversation, but this said person probably never had that niceness or that respect or that conversation. So she was like, "Oh, this is nice. This man is actually treating me like I'm a real person, like I have feelings, like I matter." So that's going to form some type of bond, whether it be like her wanting to do things physically or more mentally or socially or whatever it may be. Like, I feel like she kind of made you part of her family, but you were more of you, and you know that you're on the friendship track. And I feel like she was more on the family track. And like I said, I'm not saying that in terms of she wanted to do whatever she wanted to do with you behind closed doors. I meant more of like, you know, you get to know somebody and you hang out with them so much and you're best friends for like 10 years. So they're basically your family.
Right.
Like maybe that's what she thought she was becoming your family.
And the major thing in all this, and this is like one of the wild ass episodes that I do. And I don't say any names, but whoever you are, you know I'm speaking directly to you when I say this. As a friend.
And if there's more than one of you out there listening to this and you have a comment, then obviously it's meant for more than one person.
Right. If you ever feel this way, here's my thing. A friend can miss me for a little bit. Mm-hmm. No friend misses me for 2 days.
Right.
And no friend should ever say out their mouth that they love me.
Exactly.
It should never come out your mouth.
That should be reserved for 2 people.
Right. 2 people. You can care about me and you can say, if it's part of religion, if you say you love me through Christ, because I'm a Christian, you can say that. You can say that all day and get away with that. And if you put any connotation on that, but any conversation I've ever had with you, anything that I've ever said, you have no right to be so selfish and say that you miss me and that you love me or any of this crazy stuff.
Right.
Because here, when you say something like that, that sends
Somebody else is going to go psycho.
Right, that's going to send somebody else psycho. And that's going to send whatever the eye is of my affection, that's going to send her after you. And then what's worse than that is, what if there's someone else that was watching me and finds out that you said that, and they're a sideline player, they're not even involved. We
Or
don't know.
Side piece.
Whatever. Then they gonna come.
Right, and now it's already ruined. That is going to ruin your relationship.
Right.
Because the psycho that is your life is going to go psycho on the one that thought that she was going to get into your life, and then drew out your side piece is going to be psycho, and so the side piece and the real piece is going to be fighting.
Right. So then
they just fucked up your life.
Right. So all this wild stuff that you doing, when you take my friendship and you go way, like, you don't even take a friendship, you didn't turn this into a one-sided love affair that's not even there.
Right.
That's when things get wrong. So this is what I say to everybody before I end this episode, and this is like the realest episode I've ever done. And I thank you, Stacey, for coming on this one. It's this thing. You've gotten the psychology of me. Anybody that knows me knows that I go out of my way to help people.
Right. Sometimes, depending on the situation, it could be a little too far, but that's who you are.
Right.
And that's what everybody loves about you.
That's what everybody, even you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
to an extent, but it's okay. I'm learning. I'm trying to.
Yeah. But here's the thing. You've got to respect the myth, the magic, and the legend of who I am, and realize that I was taught to love the world because the world does not have enough love for people.
Right, 100%.
And I believe in this. And I believe in this sentiment. I listen to Luther Vandross way too much. I listen to Luther Vandross way too much. Amen to this one. And I didn't say that on a religious tip, but I'm saying it like this. A house is not a home unless it has love.
Right.
And too many of these people that are involved with me do not come from a place of love. I come from a place of love. People love me.
Right.
I am not bragging, but I'm going to say this. A stranger can meet me. One time interacting with me. One time just going through the razzle dazzle.
What was it? A 30-minute conversation with my uncle, and you're already invited to Indianapolis.
Right.
Anytime you want to come up.
Any conversation, any person that has been involved with me, at least in the last 36 months, you talk to me, you either hate me or love me.
Right.
It's no in between.
Right.
So I get that.
Right.
But what you got to do is you got to think about this. I met you. You never met me.
Right.
And that's why I keep it with certain people. And if you understand that, our relationship stays amazing because I am helping you and you may be helping me in some way, but I'm not going to let you know because I don't want you to fuck it up.
Right.
If you're helping me. If you're not helping me, then it's part of the person I am. It's not for accolades, superlatives, or rewards or anything like that in life. It's just because of how I'm conditioned, how I'm natured. Because some people don't come from a place of love. Damn, Josh Allen be running. God damn, that boy be running.
I know, my back's turned to the TV and I'm just like, damn.
Josh Allen be sliding through that thing. But anyway, the point is this. Going forward and from now on, if you want to be a friend, be a friend. Mm-hmm. But
Stop making expectations out of something unless it is discussed. If you start to have feelings for a person, make it known.
Right.
Because if that person is not showing those type of feelings towards you and you are, there's some type of issue there. You need to cut yourself loose, like you need to get yourself back, or maybe you can form that relationship, because you never know who you're talking to. Like, say, little Timmy here and Sally are talking
from Toledo.
Okay, are talking in the context of the way that you are. Timmy's doesn't want a relationship because Timmy's already with somebody. Sally wants that relationship. Well, Sally needs to be forthcoming with Timmy and be like, listen, this is how I'm feeling. Well, Timmy needs to make that decision as, am I going to get rid of what I've already got and invest in Sally here? Or am I going to tell Sally, listen, I respect your feelings, but that's not how I feel.
Right.
So we're going to take a step back.
And let me make it even crueler so that it never happens again with this person or anybody that's in my podcasting circles. Here's the thing. A female friend to me, no matter if I'm with someone, has a deficiency to me that makes you undateable. I want to be that harsh and say it. There is something about you that I've seen along the way that even if I was not with someone, it would be like, nah, hell no. I put the brakes on anything and everything because I don't think about someone as being a part of a relationship or anything like that. I think of someone as a friend.
Right.
I don't think of anyone in that kind of manner, because if I wanted to think about you like that, it would have taken a good time in the summer of 27 or a time in a December month for me to think that way of you. If it didn't happen in 2017 and it didn't happen in a summer, or if it didn't happen in the month of December, it didn't happen. And that's truth be told. So take that, manufacture that into whatever type of pill.
Marinate it in whatever sauce you need.
Need to, but remember this one thing. I was put on this earth to love the world because the world doesn't have enough love. But that love is as a friend. And it's to show anyone and to tell anybody that you can come from these deficiencies of not being from a place of love and care about people and be genuine. And it doesn't have to be an infatuation or anything sexual. It can be 100% platonic. Mm-hmm. When you overstep that boundary, you ruin every single portion, proportionate, whatever, however you want to break the pie up. You take that pie from the Cheesecake Factory and throw that motherfucker in the Delaware River.
Right. Because not only do you lose the respect of your friend, you're kind of losing the respect of anybody associated with that friend in specific ways. I'm not saying like your friends are not going to go out and hate this said people, but I mean, like, you get what I'm trying to say.
Right. So on that note, I'm J.R. Sparrow, and I hated for this episode to be a PSA like this, but I just wanted to get this message out there because I want people to know that I genuinely care about people. But you can't go out here and manufacture this wild notions without lotion and all this other crazy stuff that you're doing and think that it's all right and think that it's something that you can do to someone. Because here's the thing. Where you had a trauma, where you had something happen, you've got to realize that every action has a reaction, but every action and counter reaction has a trauma that falls on someone else. It may not.
And if you do not know your triggers, you need help. Because, and I'm not saying that in a rude way, if you do not understand your triggers, then you need to talk to somebody and figure them out. Because somebody else doing a podcast episode on something that you do not believe in should not trigger you. It should encourage you to skip that episode or that series of episodes and move on with your life.
And if I'm being genuine enough to actually come to you as a friend and tell you that, hey, this episode's not for you.
Right.
And then I'm nice and courteous and say, don't dump your weight on me about that, because whatever triggered you to that type of episode, that is something that you have to get clinician help for.
Right.
That's
right.
not a
and
friend.
Like I said, I'm not saying that in a mean way when I say if you do not understand your triggers, you need help. That is the nicest way anybody can say that. Because there's triggers in the world that you cannot control, and you need to know how to deal with them and how to handle them correctly.
Yes.
To make you mentally stable.
So, on that note, I'm JR.
And I'm Stacy.
And we're signing off of West Virginia and Commonplace.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at onecommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.